that with, we know exactly when the fucking shit's occurring. We like the last hour of trading. That right there, some of you, that's the man, that's the land of milk and honey. Because you had all of the day behind you and you had that last hour of trading. If you see that last hour hasn't ran out a target that it's obviously aiming for, that last hour becomes real easy to trade. Or if it hits it in the afternoon session and we start going into that 3 o'clock hour to 4 o'clock Eastern time, and there's a small little shift in market structure and it returns back to a fair value gap, look for a pool liquidity on the 1 or 5 minute chart. 5 handles, done. But what if it goes 30? Who gives a fuck? You're aiming for 5. 5, okay? You're doing this to make money. You're not doing this to impress people on fucking social media. That's what some of you are you're more focused about that. That's the driver for you, because that gives you what? Significance. And I understand that wholeheartedly. Believe me, I understand that. But that is a pursuit that's wasted. You want to be making money. That's why you're here. You're not in here to impress anybody. You're here to make fucking money. And you can't make fucking money if you are not consistently doing the same things. How do you do that? You have to have a goal. Let's say, hypothetically, that your goal is to get funded with $250,000, $250,000. Now, I haven't gone through the trouble of discerning how much it costs a funded trader to pay for the access to something like that each month. And I don't know. Okay. But you're welcome to tweet to me and say, this is what that company does here. If to get $250,000, this is what you have to pay for. This is what you have to do, and the whole business. Okay. I don't know that. I'm just giving you some ideas to think about. Okay. But if you had $250,000 that you were funded with, whether collectively or individually in one prop firm, and you're aiming for, now you're in year 2.5 to 3 years. Okay. So you're looking for 10% returns per month. That's 2.5% per week. Now, some of you that are probably educators or mentors listening to this shit, maybe you're a professional trader, maybe you've been doing it for a long time and you think, everything I'm saying is horse shit, whatever. I'm going to prove all this year. 2.5%. If you're telling me that you got in this business and you can't make 2.5% in one fucking week, what the hell are you here for? Like, what are you doing? 2.5%? Like 2.5%. You can't do 2.5% in a course of 1 week. If you've been doing this for 3 years, you're doing something wrong. And I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. Less than 2.5 years, if you're thinking you're going to get 10% consistently every single month, then that's not going to happen. So let's be real, okay? Can someone that's been versed with price action do 10% per month consistently? Yes. How? How can that be done? Well, number one, let's strip it down to the basic math, and then I'll tell you how to apply your multiplier to it. So you have $250,000 and you're aiming for 10%. So you're trying to get $25,000 for that month. So you take your 25,000 divided by 4. That needs to be broken up of, now we're going to use just one market, and we're going to say my baby is ES. Okay. E-mini S&P. You're not worried about what NASDAQ's doing. You don't give a shit what Forex is doing. You don't care what crude oil is doing. You don't care what Bitcoin's doing. You don't care about the new coin coming out. You are focused on one market. That's it. You take your 25,000, divide that by 4. And then you take that and divide that by 5 days. But you just kept on saying that everyday trading. Yeah, you're a new student. I'm trying to take your attention away from trying to be an everyday trader when you don't know how to trade right now. There's time for all of that once you know what you're doing. You can trade every fucking session after you know what you're doing. Multiple times in the same session, you can do it. You can buy and sell in the same session once you know what you're doing. But right now, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to hurt yourself. So if I'm going to teach you, I'm going to teach you the correct way. And that means I'm going to give you realistic time frames for when things should be expected. What happens if you do really, really well? Could you do it sooner? Yes, but that shouldn't be your goal. You should be doing this with the intent that you're going to do it with these timelines in mind, with the intent that you're going to get good with the proper amount of time to allow you to develop into it. Okay, 10%, Michael, that's a little too much for me now. Give me something more realistic. Okay. Let's say it's 3%. Ugh, a month? Come on, Michael. Seriously, 3%? Dude, that's like your stop loss. Yes, but here's the thing. $250,000. And if you have 3% as your model, you're aiming for 3%. Can you hit 3% in year 1 per month? At the end of it, yeah, I believe you can. Consistently, probably not every single month because you're still developing. But I think in the same frame of 2.5 to 3 years, I think 3% every single month is absolutely doable. What's the math on that? Well, for $250,000, and you're trying to get 3%, that's $7,500 per month. So you take that same thing, divide it by 4 weeks. And I know some of you are thinking like, this is anybody could do this. Is elementary math. Yes, but I want you to think about how you're not doing this. So it's so easy, you know the math, but you're fucking still working. Okay, you're still doing fucking oil changes to fucking Jiffy Lube. Okay, and you're going to talk to me in the comment section about how you say this and you say that. Dude, if it's so easy, you do it. You record yourself. You go on Twitter, say what it's going to go to next, and you do it. Okay, and I'm gonna see you fucking flyboys doing that. So you got $7,500 on $2,500 equity. So you funded with $250,000. You're aiming for 3%. Now, some of you are thinking 3%, fuck that, that's not enough. Listen, folks, listen to the math here. $7,500. Are you making $7,500 right now at your job? Does your boss love you so fucking much that they're rewarding you for 40 hours or more a week in the tune of $7,500 a month? Chances are you're fucking not, okay? Now, some of you probably make more than that, and that's fine. That's great. Well done. You're still a slave. But $7,500, divide that by 4 weeks. It's $1,875 a week. Now, that's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. And that's an easy objective to reach, especially if you're working with $250,000. So you do the same thing. You break that up over points. We're doing with the S&P right now, okay? So if you take $1,875, divide that by $50. That's 1 point, okay? Or one handle. 4 ticks is one handle or 1 point in the S&P. That's $50. Divide that $1,875 by 50. That means you have to earn a net gain of 37.5 handles or points for the week. What? How am I going to do that? Well, per day, it's only 7.5 points. That's easy as shit. That's fucking easy. Now, you split that day of 7.5 points into 2 sessions. You have the morning session, you have the afternoon session. Divide it into lunch. You take a lunch hour, go play some PlayStation, Xbox, take a nap, whatever. Come back at 1:30 and work till 4 o'clock and aim for what? The same thing you try to do in the morning. You got 7.5 points that you got to make. That's your goal. That's all you're aiming for the day. You try to get 3.75 handles. That's 1 tick less than 4 handles in the morning and in the afternoon. So aim for 4 handles in the morning, aim for 4 handles in the afternoon. And that covers your commission costs. And you'll net 3.75 handles. You do that every single day. Or if you're a swing trader and you say, I can see something on the hourly chart that's going to probably move 40 handles. Well, then you just do 1 trade and you're done. But you can split this up into small, little, tiny, bite-sized pieces. And if you've watched what I've been doing and you think that 4 handles is hard, you haven't been watching enough of my videos. You haven't been watching enough of my executions. 4 handles is nothing. Like 4 handles, that can happen in less than 5 minutes. 2 minutes. Like in some instances, on one minute candle, it can do 5 handles. Because I'm taking you into the time when the market's likely to move like that. Aiming for a direction or a bias that's attacking a pool of liquidity or aiming for an inefficiency. You're not looking at indicators, you're looking at shit that repeats over and over again. So you could be taking that $250,000 account and parlaying that up to $7,500 a month, doing, around $80,000 a year, not doing very much to do it. It's all about how you understand what repeats. I'm showing you these small little movements intraday, because when you look at all the social media stuff, they all show you these big, massive runs in price.